Well, I bet you didn't expect to see me here. However, here we are. This is going to be the draft analysis, quote unquote, of the APA Season 7. I did come back to APA. I was asked to take over for somebody who had dropped, Leo. Leo dropped. So they asked me to take over the team. I took over the team and I got to make no changes with it, which is why I didn't want to do a big, like, this was my thought process through the draft, because there was no thought process through the draft. There was just a draft that I took over. But I wanted to tell you what I like and what I dislike about the draft and what I'm looking forward to, because if you are unaware of how this season of APA is going to be working, basically, throughout the entire season, there's going to be 3 drafts. There's going to be one week 1, one after week 4, and then one after week 8. And then if you make playoffs, you get to pick one of your drafts. Now, the way it was done back in like season 4 or whatever it was, whenever like it was me, A Drive, Crimson Seabad, like Deathly, all of this stuff. The way it was back then is you got to pretty much craft your own draft from the 3 drafts you had. So like, for example, if I wanted to use Aegislash from this draft, and then if the next draft I get pick number 1 overall and I want to take Urshifu Single Strike, then I could take Urshifu Single Strike. I don't like that in this format because there are some broken Pokemon, like there's Urshifu Single Strike, there's Dragapult, so being able to potentially fight 3 of them in playoffs back to back, or a Dragapult or Urshifu like mirror match doesn't really sound fun. I would rather it be like less likely that you can pick that type of stuff. So I really like that they're making it you pick one full draft and you stick with it. I really like this draft. This draft is very me. It's very a lot of the things that I look for in a draft. It's a lot of what I usually enjoy. I don't like the Stealth Rockers, but that is my biggest gripe with the entire draft, is I really, really dislike the Stealth Rockers. My biggest thing with Aegislash in general is that it's a steel that doesn't get Stealth Rocks, and because of that, also, do you like my shirt? Sorry, I can't keep a straight thought. Anyway, my biggest gripe with Aegislash in general is that it's a steel that doesn't get Stealth Rocks, and the steels that don't get Stealth Rocks usually need to be amazing at something, and luckily Aegislash is amazing at everything. It can be a stall breaker, it can be a breaker, it can be a defensive pivot, it can be just a wall, it can be subtoxic, it can be anything. So I really, really like that, and I'm okay with that, but the lack of Stealth Rockers really, really hurt this team. Like, I kind of would have rather seen like Maractus and Stunfisk be put together for like a better ground type, or like maybe drop down the electric from Heliolisk to like Raichu potentially to get a better Stealth Rocker or something along those lines. That's my biggest pet peeve with the team, is just the Stealth Rockers. I love the spikes and T-spikes aspect of this team. I love the fact that I have 2 spikers. I love the fact that I have really good momentum. That is one thing that Leo always drafts really well, and he usually uses pretty well. So I'm really glad that I was able to take this over. Like, in general, like, you have U-turn Torn, you have U-turn Darm, you have Volt Switch and U-turn Heliolisk, you have Baton Pass Lottie, you have Parting Shot Pangoro. Like, you have a lot of pivoting on this team, which is really, really good, because a lot of them are also things that usually just force switches. The hazard removal on this team isn't the greatest. Like, it's Defog Torn and Defog Lottie, and neither one of them usually want to run Defog, so not the biggest fan of that. But ultimately, if I'm setting up multiple spikes on my opponent and rocks, and I'm able to just like regen stall a little bit and force switches, then I might be able to just win the hazard war, which is okay. And with boots, I guess it really doesn't matter that much. But either way, this is going to be the team that I'm going to be bringing. I'm really, really excited for this draft. I wanted to keep this super, super short, sweet, simple, to the point. This is the team I'm going to use for the first 4 weeks. For the second draft, I'm going to be doing a lot more in-depth, because I'm going to be the one drafting it. I'm going to be the one doing everything. I have not played week 1. I play week 1 tonight, and I'm really, really excited for this draft. And I'm really excited for this league. I'm really excited to be back in league format. But yeah, if you guys have any suggestions for nicknames, because I have quite literally no suggestions for any of these or any nicknames for any of these Pokemon set up yet. I just have like a general idea of what everything is going to be. But I really like the breakers of this team. I really like that there's a lot of special and physical offense. Like Pangoro, like I don't know how many people actually know this fact, but I've talked about this a plethora of times. Pangoro is the only Pokemon in the entire game that is able to hit every single Pokemon in the rest of the game for super effective damage. There's not a single Pokemon in the entire game that is able to resist Pangoro's coverage. Between the combination of Scrappy and Mold Breaker, it can hit everything for super effective damage, and that is something that is just stupid. Like, if I notice that a team has a lot of weaknesses and I want a hazard stack and just force breaks, like, I can do that with Pangoro. Darmanitan forces in Fat Waters. I have a Roserade and a Helios to try to take advantage of that, and I'm able to do a lot of just damage in general with Aegislash. Lottie I'm not the biggest fan of. I prefer Latios to Latias, but I really do think that I should give Latias a try. I have not used Torn T since literally X and Y. It's been that long, and that was back whenever Regen Cores, trying to think what was the most common one, because it wasn't Tang Slowking, it was Torn, Mienshao, Slowbro, Amoonguss. That was the common Regen Core, and I had all 4 of them on that team, and it was phenomenal. But either way, really fun team. I'm really excited to use it. I hope that you guys are excited for me to be back. I've got this league, I've got another league, and potentially a third. And I know that I'm putting a lot on my plate, like, to come back to, but you know what? I need something to put my mind back on something else that I enjoy, because if you haven't been following me on Twitter, my mental health has not been doing well, literally at all. If you guys are curious about it, I can actually make a video on it, but I promise you it is a very, very, very sad story that I don't think many of you want, which is why I decided to come back, because I missed having the relationships with my viewers, with the friends in the community, things of that nature. So I really do think that a lot of you guys would be shocked to hear a lot of what's been going on with my mental health. So I needed to come back, and I wanted to come back strong, and I wanted to come back heavy to try to take my mind off of everything else. But that is where I am. Next draft analysis will be up around week 4. I'm playing, I think his name is like Mr. Wyatt. I don't know. He took over for Kirby. Yeah, Mr. Wyatt. Don't really know who this guy is, if I'm being honest with you. Not trying to be rude. I don't know him, but looks like we've talked before. It looks like we've played before. I don't remember this, but why does I'm very confused as to who this is. It's like we've talked before, but I don't have any like remembrance of it, so I could just be an ass. But that is going to be just a quick rundown. You guys can see on the screen, you can see like what everything is. Really, really excited for this league, guys. If you are excited for the future, please make sure you leave a like down below for me. Also, make sure you go check out all of the links down below. There is actually a movie reviews channel that I started. It is just me doing movie reviews. Please go subscribe to it if you are into movies, if you are into Marvel movies, horror movies, action movies, if you're into any type of movie or cinematic feature, go sub to that, because I'm going to be doing movie reviews over there pretty frequently, about once a week or so. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in week 1. Bye-bye.